to talk about poison ivy. Lots of people get it in the spring, summer, early fall when they're out hiking and camping and so on. I'm going to show you how to get it in the wintertime. I'm Roger, welcome to the shop, and yeah, that intro is a little bit deceiving. We're going to talk about getting poison ivy and getting it in the winter time. And technically it's not winter, it is mid-November, but there's no leaves on anything. And a little bit of a backstory of, I had bought a house, a flip house, handyman special, whatever you want to call it if you've seen the previous video. We've been cleaning up and cleaning out brush, and I knew there was no poison ivy there. A lot of possum grapes and a lot of Virginia creeper. The problem with Virginia creeper is it looks identical to poison ivy when there is no leaves on it. So if you look here at this picture, on the left is poison ivy, on the right is Virginia creeper. And as you can see, the vines look almost identical. Well, what happened was I was helping my son-in-law clear out along a fence row. And I knew there was a lot of Virginia creeper out there, and possibly some poison ivy. So I did take precautions, had long sleeves on, wore gloves, had a face shield on. We were using a chainsaw, we were using reciprocating saws with pruning blades. We were clearing out this fence row. A lot of vines in there, and I was being as careful as I could to make sure that I got nothing on me. And after we were done, I did wash down with a product, and I'm not sponsored by this company. It's Techno Extreme. It's poison ivy scrub, and you can get it at your probably local drugstore, CVS, Walgreens, or whatever. And they also, this is the actual scrub. They also have one, the Techno Original, which you use to wash off the urushiol oil. Urushiol is what's called is the compound in the poison ivy that will give you the rash and make you break out, as they say. And afterwards, if it does proceed to, you get a rash, they have this anti-itch spray, and it works very good. Then when it gets really bad and you end up having to go to the dermatologist, because I am highly sensitive to poison ivy, that's why I'm so careful around it. What I didn't think about was I wear a watch, normally not on this arm because I'm right-handed. I usually wear it over here. What I didn't think about was having the watch on, sawdust from cutting this stuff got down underneath the top of my watch and inside the watch band. And of course I took that off when I scrubbed down with this when we were done, but never thought about cleaning off the back of that watch band, because whatever the poison ivy gets on, that urushiol oil, it will stay on it and it'll stick to it, and it could stay viable for up to 5 years according to the dermatologist. So after I got all done and everything, and we decided to sit back and have a couple beers, put my watch back on. Never thought about it. And then about a day and a half later, it started to itch, and then I saw it started to blister, and then it got really bad, and I ended up having to go get a topical steroid. No, you can't buy this at the drugstore. This is by prescription. So, moral of the story is, just because you think you've done all the precautions, you can still get it if you just forget about some little thing. I've got a little bit on this arm where little dots, possibly where it got inside my jacket, and I put my jacket back on. So now everything has been well laundered and I'm in the recovery mode, but this blistering and weeping and itching, it will drive you nuts. And just because it's not summertime or springtime doesn't mean you can't get poison ivy. And although I know exactly what they look like, because poison ivy has 3 leaves, as you see here, Virginia creeper has 5 leaves, as you see here. Now there are some people that are allergic to Virginia creeper, but it's highly rare. A lot of people grow it as a decorative vine, covering brick walls and fences, etc. In this area we consider it a weed because it gets in everything, grows up trees and long fences, and although it does look very nice in the fall when it turns bright red, it's not something most people around here want to have growing in their yard. I mean, obviously you don't want to have poison ivy. The poison ivy vine, once again, and the Virginia creeper vine when there are no leaves on them, look identical. You can't really tell them apart unless you get down and really closely examine it and how the aerial roots come off of it. And I made the mistake of getting a little bit too overconfident and not taking all the precautions I should, because back when I was younger, if I saw poison ivy, I could just go grab it, pull it out, throw it away, and not bother. But what I've been told by the dermatologist is when you do that kind of stuff, because 15% of people are not allergic to it, you gradually sensitize yourself to it. And then once you get it, each time you get it thereafter, it's going to be worse, because your body will produce T cells that, well, I'm not going to get the T cells, antigens, the leukocytes, and all that, and cytokines, but what it does is it stores in your body almost like an antibody. It's a T cell that stays within your system, and when that urushiol gets on you, your body recognizes that's a foreign substance, and the T cells come after it. Then they send the killer cells after it. That produces cytokines, and a little bit like COVID, just it's not a virus. But your body fights this off. So then every time you get exposed, it can be a little worse. So you really need to take some caution. That's my little story on how to get poison ivy in the wintertime. And if you're out cutting brush and stuff in the winter, even though you think the stuff is dead, from what I've been told, even the dead vines can have that urushiol in it anywhere from 5 to 10 years. And absolutely don't burn it. If you burn this stuff and someone that is sensitive to it breathes that smoke, they'll get poison ivy inside their lungs. And that is really, really serious. That can have you ending up in the hospital, the ICU, or even on a ventilator. So you absolutely don't burn this stuff, and don't run it through a chipper. I mean, it needs to be disposed of some way, but don't be burning it or running it through a chipper. Well, with that said, this quick little oddball video, I know it's not exactly shop related, but it's something to think about, especially for you people that are susceptible to getting poison ivy, poison oak, or poison sumac. It's all the same urushiol compound that's in there. That'll give you that rash, and it gets worse the more times you get exposed, so be careful. Got anything out of this? Appreciate getting a thumbs up because it helps the channel. Of course, we're always looking for subscribers, so next to that subscribe button is a little bell. If you click that bell, you'll be notified when we post another video. Otherwise, I'm Roger in the shop, nursing my wounds. See you in the next one.